Okay, I've showed you a little bit about how to read a tape measure, but are you still having problems reading the fractions and having a tricky time at the 16ths and the 8ths on how to easily read those measurements? I'm going to show you a few tips that you might want to keep in mind when reading a tape measure so that you can get better at reading a tape measure. I want you to be able to do your projects nice and easy. And the first thing that needs to happen in order for you to do that is to know how to read a tape measure better. I'm glad you're here because that's what you're going to learn. Are you having a problem with those pesky 16ths? Well, here's something to keep in mind. Every 1/4 inch, here, here, and here, if you remember, that's 4/16, and then 8/16, 12/16. The tape measure between 40 and 41, or anywhere between an inch. All these little lines were 1/16 of an inch, remember? And there's 16/16 in an inch. So if you want to quickly divide that out into the quarters, you got 4, 8, 12, 16 for 16ths, right? So if I hold my marker right there, that's one little line in front of the first quarter, right? So if we know the first quarter is 4, we know that's 5/16. If I hold it there, we know that's 3/16. Now you can go from the 40 to there, 1, 2, 3. But if I'm holding it right there, you don't want to have to count them all up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I mean, you could. It takes a while to do that. But if you're right here at 3/4, then you know that's 12/16. You can quickly do it in your head. 4, 8, 12 minus 1 is 11/16. If I put it there, that's 12 is right there. Plus 1 is 13/16. So if you just remember that on your quarter increments, 4, 8, 12. Okay, so anywhere I hold this, if it's right there, you know that's just less of 8. So that's 7/16. That would be what? 11/16. 13/16, because it's just above the 12. Now if I hold it right there, you know that's just before the 41, so that's 15/16. So that's kind of a quick and dirty on remembering that. 4, 8, 12 on the 16ths. Okay? When you're looking at the 8ths, is there an easier or quicker way to figure it out if I'm right in here and you forget about the 12 minus the 1? Or let's say, yeah, see, I mean, if you figure it out each time, no matter where I have it, if I got it there, you should know that's 3/8. This tape is made up in increments of 8ths. That's that line right there. And right there, and right there, and right there. 8/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8ths. Okay? So if I'm right here, you're not going to look at the 16ths. You're just going to look at the 8ths. You know that's 3/8. 1, 2, 3. Very quickly. I'm right there. 5/8. 7/8. 1/8. Now if I'm holding it there, you can think about the 16ths again. There's 4/16 there. So I'm going to hold my mark right there. That's 3/16. Now another way you can do it, if you forget about that, is on your 1/8 inches. If I'm right there, I know that's 5/8, right? And so if I double that, 5 times 2 is 10/16. So I know that one right here is 9/16, or this is 11/16. You know, that takes a little bit more adding and figuring out, because you shouldn't have to do that when you're in the 16th margins. You can just look at this and you know that's
8/16, 12/16, 4/16. And anywhere from there, because on both sides of the quarter you can figure out the 16ths. You don't have to worry about the 8th, right? Okay, is it an 8th plus a 16th? Or how many 8ths? Here's 6/8, so I got one more. Okay, 6/8 plus 1 is 7/8, or 7/16. No, you can just look at this. I'm 1 less than 8/16. 4, 8, 12, 16. So there's 7. You know, anywhere I hold this on here on a 16th mark, you can do that. I'm just below 4/16, so that's 3. I'm just above 4/16, so that's 5. I'm just above that, and I don't have to worry about 16ths because I'm going to call out all those lines in 8, so that's 3/8. There's 1/8. There's 3/8, 5/8, 7/8. So if I hold my marker at any of those little ones, you do the 4, 8, 12 method. 4, 8, 12, okay? If I'm there, it's 1 above the 12. Now there you don't have to worry about the quarter. If I'm right there, that's 1 less than an inch. You know that's 15/16. If I'm right there, you know that's 1/16 because it's just after an inch. But any of the other lines, you can do your 4, 8, 12 strategy and quickly be able to look and see how many 16ths that is. Instead of going, well, I know that's 8, so let's see. It's right here, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, oh, 13/16. No, I'm right there, and that's just above 12/16, 4, 8, 12. 13/16 right there. Okay? That's kind of what you're just going to have to do when you start thinking about reading out your measurements on 16ths. I think you've got it, by Joe. That's all I got for now, but I'll be back with more videos.